Welcome to Sunshine State of Mind. I'm Andy.
And I'm Shannon. How's it going?
It's going good. We had a pretty good weekend, despite the weather on Saturday.
Yeah. I forgot what we did on Saturday. I think we just went to Costco.
We did a whole lot of nothing on Saturday.
Good times.
We had a little taste of Tropical Storm Nestor.
Yeah.
Nestle.
Nestle?
It's what I think.
Nestle Quick?
Every time I saw that in the news, I thought of Nestle Quick.
This episode is sponsored by Nestle Quick.
And
no,
even
it's not a sponsor.
But they are not aware of that fact.
Yeah, exactly. And they have given us nothing.
This podcast is brought to you by Nestle, except they are unaware. Who else would this be brought to you by?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out soon.
Arctic, the drink, the knockoff Yeti that I drink from while we do this. Sometimes I think
this podcast is very quickly going off.
It's going off the rails. Sometimes you might hear a gulp over the mic, and I'm like, oh no, I got to be careful of that.
Usually Andy.
That's me, my little ice water. Got to stay hydrated.
Friday night, though, we went to Advent Health. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Center Ice.
They are a sponsor
right?
of the Center Ice. Yeah. So we did something pretty cool. There's a really big ice facility not far from us that we've gone in there every now and then. It's in Wesley Chapel, Florida. It's a suburb of Tampa.
Yeah. It's just a little bit north of Tampa, and it's like one of the biggest ice rinks in Florida, right?
It's the biggest in the state.
Okay.
I think I read it's the second largest or maybe the largest in the Southeast.
Wow.
It's actually one of the biggest ones in the country. It's a really great state-of-the-art facility. It's only been there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
The U.S. women's Olympic hockey team practices there.
That's really cool.
They use it as their home ice, so you can go out there and watch them practice and play.
Yeah.
So we wanted to bring this up as just a really cool free thing to do kind of on the west coast of Florida but they do this everywhere because we did you guys know that there is actually college hockey. There's actually, this is a thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that there is a college hockey team for
I didn't think that
Central Florida, South Florida, the University of Florida, Miami. They have.
I'm just confused of why it wouldn't be a thing.
Well,
because it's Florida.
It's just that, okay, well, the thing is, they're actually...
That's like, to me, that's like saying, did you know that baseball is a thing at colleges?
It just doesn't get a whole lot of love, right? I mean, it's the South.
No, I guess not. But I mean, neither does, tennis, but there's, college tennis.
There is. There's college...
I would assume that pretty much
volleyball,
every sport
college, everything
is at every university, I would think.
I would think so, but with you got to have the rink and you've got to have all that stuff.
Maybe not cross country skiing.
Not here,
in Florida.
Not in Florida.
But I guess maybe because of the ice part, I can see why some people would be surprised that Florida has ice hockey. But
college ice hockey teams.
Well, and I mean, not just college though. Like ice hockey here in high school, middle school, like rec hockey. It's huge in Florida.
It's really big. It's actually surprisingly big, considering how non-Canadian we are as a state.
Right.
How big hockey is, and because we have this ice place right around the corner.
Yeah.
We saw a totally free event, and these go on there kind of frequently, and probably in other parts of the state as well. But University of Central Florida Golden Knights were playing the USF Bulls.
University of South Florida.
South Florida Bulls. And
my alma mater.
You're one of your alma maters. And we thought, let's check it out. It's a totally free event. Let's go watch some free college hockey. So we went over there. Surprisingly packed. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say surprisingly packed.
Well, it was free, so
totally free.
It wasn't that surprising to me. I if it's free, it's for me. That's what I always say.
Totally free. So I shouldn't say surprisingly. I'm not surprised it was packed, but it was really packed. I mean, it was really, really full.
Yeah, it was full. Like there were a couple of times when, like, we went with a couple of other families, and the kids were there with their kids, so the kids were kind of like wandering around every once in a while and going up and getting some nachos or whatever. And a couple of times when they left, people would try to take their seats.
Yeah, it was, you had to defend your seat.
That's how busy it was. They were like, are those seats taken? So it was really busy.
It was a good time. And the place seats, this was like they have this featured rink in there where the U.S. Women's Olympic team plays on.
Yeah.
It seats maybe a couple hundred people. Would you say?
Yeah, I would say so.
Maybe
that sounds about right.
Maybe 1,000 tops.
No. Definitely not that many.
A few hundred, and it was totally full.
Yeah, a few hundred.
It's funny that even though it was crowded, it's funny how like USF versus Central Florida hockey brings out a few hundred people filling the arena.
Well, and there were UCF fans there.
There was. Well, there were
some riding. Well, I mean, it's
a good buddy of mine is a UCF grad, so he was out there wearing his UCF UCF gear.
Didn't your cousins go to UCF too?
I don't know. I think one of them did.
Yeah.
It's a big school. It's actually
it is a big school.
One of the biggest in the country.
But it's on the other side of Orlando, so it's a couple hours away.
Yeah, they call it the war on I-4 when the two meet, even though
that's funny.
This was not on I-4.
No, it's
this
not on I-4. It's up in Wesley Chapel.
We were trying to think of what rhymes with 5 because it was off of I-275.
Oh, is that what you guys were asking?
Thinking of.
Because I couldn't really hear, and I heard you ask something about what rhymes with 5. And like the guys were on one end and all the girls were on the other, and all the girls were thinking that it was like some kind of like quiz, or not a quiz, but like
a game of telephone?
puzzle. No, like a puzzle or something that we had to figure out, or like a crossword puzzle, like what rhymes with 5 and has something to do with blah blah blah. And we were like, well, we're all thinking like there's an actual answer to this, as opposed to helping us.
No.
Like
I was
brainstorm.
just trying to think of a nickname for the ice.
And then I heard, I guess you guys give them the answer. I couldn't hear what it was, but all the girls were like, oh, what? Who cares? What are you guys talking about? Like they like completely dismissed you, but I couldn't hear any of the conversation. So I was just on the far
just trying
end.
to think of a name for the hockey rivalry because they call the football rivalry the war on I-4.
Sounds like a very productive conversation.
It was. I couldn't think of anything that starts with like a hostile word that rhymes with 5. Like,
I'm sure we'll get lots of comments about it. Hostile. That's what it was. A hostile word that rhymes with 5, and everyone was like, "Oh, I don't know. We're thinking." And then everyone starts thinking about it, like there actually is an answer to this question.
And then you looked at me like, come on, that's stupid.
It was funny. But it was fun. We had a really good time.
It's cool.
We didn't stay till the end, but I think USF won.
It was 4-0 when we did leave.
Yeah.
We left just to kind of beat the crowd because it was quite a few people there. We wanted to, plus our kids were getting bored. They're sort of like we couldn't keep them.
But we got some footage
interested.
that we're going to put in here, and we got one of the goals that USF made, and it was right in front of us.
It was a pretty good goal too, and then you would look the guy up. I think he was some Russian guy.
Yeah. It was like I think he's on scholarship.
Yeah. in the NHL, they're all Russian or Canadian mostly, so it didn't surprise me.
I'm glad he came to Tampa.
Yeah,
that's
but
awesome.
We're not a sports podcast, but we thought it was a pretty cool, free thing to watch college hockey completely for free. So kind of an under the radar type of deal. And there's college hockey teams all around the state, and one of those under known things. So it was a lot of fun and 100% free, other than the couple of drinks we had up there.
It was a good time.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then we also, second half of the show, I just kind of tease the second half.
Oh, this is the second half?
I
thought I got to talk about it first. I get to talk about it second. Save the best for last.
Scream-a-geddon?
Yeah.
I want to save the best for last. I feel like there's going to be a lot to talk about there. So you can take that.
It was, let me just give you a little spoiler. It was awesome.
I was not able to go.
It was awesome.
I was on dad duty that night. So on a weeknight.
It was awesome. So I can't wait to tell you about it.
Yeah. So you went to that. So we're going to talk about the Scream-a-geddon, which is still going for a couple more weeks. It's, I saw USA Today listed it as one of the top 10 best haunted house attractions in the whole country.
100% agree.
And it's considered the number one in Florida. So we'll talk about the second half of the show. So yesterday Saturday we had plans. Friday into Saturday we had the tropical storm that came through. It wasn't too bad. It was just rain.
Well, and we had planned to go to what we went to on Sunday. We had planned to go on Saturday, but it was raining.
It was raining. We planned on Saturday to go to the Johns Pass Music and Seafood Festival in Madiera Beach, Florida.
Yep.
Saturday was a little bit of a rain out. I guess people did go. I was reading the reviews of people were there. They said it was very, very wet and and windy and ponchos and
our exciting day at Costco was a little bit exciting actually as we were walking to the car, because it was one of those days that you really have to be you have to be living in Florida to understand that, like, 1 minute is completely sunny and hot, and then the next minute a rain band comes through and it's absolutely pouring.
It was weird. Like the main center of the tropical storm was kind of going up into the Panhandle, like Panama City.
Yeah.
But most of the worst stuff was in Central Florida. There was a tornado in Lakeland.
Yeah.
We got just sort of.
We just got some rain.
Some rain and some breeze. It's weird. There was a lot
little
of
windy.
A little breeze every now and then. But then the sun would be out for a little bit, and then it wouldn't be out, and then it would be raining.
Yeah.
So we went to Costco. Very exciting day. We're not going to talk too much about that.
The samples were good.
On the way out, though, it was sunny going in, and then I parked sort of far because like there wasn't really any close-up parking.
And when you parked, you were like, "I'm going to park out here. We're going to get some steps in or whatever." And then you're like, "Hopefully, it won't be raining when we leave."
Yes, half jokingly, and then we come out, and then.
And it wasn't raining.
It wasn't raining, but then out of nowhere, halfway to the car, just kaboom! It came out of nowhere.
I heard you say, "Oh no, here it comes," and I was like, "Here what comes?" And I looked behind me, and I'm like, "Oh no, start running, guys!" So
you could see it.
Running.
It was that Florida sheet rain where it's not raining where you are, but you see it, and then it's making this
coming
wave
toward
and
you. Yeah.
And then the palm trees were blowing around for about 5 minutes, and then it was over. So that was our
yesterday when
next
we
door
went.
Experience.
Yeah, when we went to the seafood festival, though, it was downright hot.
It was. I thought it was it was okay. It was mid 80s, but it felt hotter in the concrete
I don't know. It
areas.
Felt really hot to me. Like, I mean, I felt like the sun was like beating down. It was like a strong sun, like the kind of sun that you think, ooh, I should have put sunscreen on, Yeah,
well, we had to, right?
Yeah. So, but I gotta say, man, I was a little disappointed in the seafood festival.
Were you? You were disappointed in the seafood festival?
I was.
So we went out there on Sunday. This is in Madiera Beach. This is another Gulf Coast area. It's a little bit between Clearwater and St. Pete. And I liked it. I actually thought the event was fun. There's bands, there's music, there's arts and crafts and vendors and people selling junk. It's big. It's a pretty big event. My number one. Okay, I have two problems with it.
Okay.
The parking situation.
I know what one of them was.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what two of them were.
John's Pass is infamous for having
limited parking.
Anyway, it's John's Pass. If you're not familiar, it's this touristy boardwalk area on the water. It's not on the beach, but it's kind of on like the intercoastal there.
Yeah.
Where you can rent boats, you can rent jet skis, you can go fishing, you can do all this water sports stuff. And then there's a bunch of bars and shops and
we've actually talked about it.
Stuff.
We've talked about it before because I remember you teasing me on the podcast once because I was talking about these jet ski guys, the place where they return the jet skis.
Oh, this is when you wanted to like give up your whole life and run away and work at a jet ski place. I remember that.
Yeah. Like I was like watching, you were getting footage, like you were filming some stuff that day. This was a different day. This was like what? Like
it wasn't this weekend. It was a while back.
Was like, was it this year though? Or was it last year? It was when the kids were at
it was
Grammy
just you and I out there. Yep.
Yeah. So you're getting footage and I'm like mesmerized by these surfer dudes, all young, maybe like in their
You were mesmerized by the surfer dudes?
Just let me finish, please.
Checking out that six-pack abs on that guy.
No. I mean, they were attractive. Don't get me wrong. But the process was mesmerizing because it wasn't just guys, it was girls too. And they were pulling these jet skis in that people were returning. It was toward the end of the day. And they had like this, like they were like a well-oiled machine. They were like bringing the jet skis around and rinsing them off and scrubbing them down. And then, they had like this process of like bringing them up out of the water and like, hanging, like, I don't know what you call it, but like basically they aren't in the water. They're hung up and put on the dock.
Yeah, they were
at the end of the night.
They were like wheeling them. They were on these little roller wheels.
Right. So they were like kind of a well-oiled machine, but then it made me think like they were all like probably like late teens, early 20s was probably their ages. And I thought to myself, I wonder how many of them like grew up in the Northeast or something and were like, I'm moving to Florida and I'm going to work
at a jet ski rental place. I'm
going to work at the beach. And like, it was just kind of like a, I mean, we all have, our real jobs where we go and there's stress and there's, deadlines and things you have to worry about. And it was like, these guys, there didn't seem to be a lot of stress involved, We
all have that.
And that was kind of
time.
like, it was kind of a romantic, like, daydream for me.
Sure.
That, like, you know, these guys are just sitting on the beach, you know, on their downtime. When they're working, they're still on the water, pulling these jet skis in. It was real. I mean, I sat there for probably a half an hour just watching them do their routine, you know.
We all have that time where we want to like run away and join the circus,
Yeah,
or run away and
join the jet ski
join
folks.
the jet ski industry, their jet ski.
Exactly.
The booming jet ski rental industry.
So we've talked about this place before. I highly recommend going if you're coming to the area, because it is like a really great.
It's very touristy. It's very touristy. It's a great
but
place to take people from out of town, and then they'll want to move to Florida. It's got that
It's
very
the kind of
quintessential
place,
Florida tourist
I think
vibe.
you said last time actually that like this is the kind of place where I would come when I was, you know, living in Chicago and think I gotta move to Florida.
Yeah,
you know, this is why, because you think this is what life's like in Florida.
And then when you move, you go there almost never. We've been to John's Pass once or twice a year.
But anyway, it's a really great place.
The place is cool. The festival was going on this weekend, and like we said, it's got very tight, limited parking normally, which is surprising considering how kind of big the place is.
Yeah.
And yesterday they were charging $25 to park there.
Yeah, near there.
25 for valet, $20 for regular parking if you wanted to just park right there, which completely, that's more than Disney World to go to a seafood festival, which was basically a glorified food truck rally. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
They did have free parking down the street.
Well, way down the street.
Yeah, it was about 2 miles away, and then you had to. It was in a.
You rode a trolley down to John's Pass.
It was in a grocery store parking lot, and they had a trolley that came and got you.
Very romantic.
No, the trolley was kind of cool though. I did like ride. The trolley was nice.
The Winn-Dixie parking lot wasn't.
The Winn-Dixie parking lot.
But we rode the trolley down. It took a while.
They didn't have enough trolleys running. That was my number one beef. Like.
Yeah.
I actually took their survey today. They posted a survey on Facebook, and they said, take a survey if you came. And I said, you guys didn't have enough trolleys running. Parking was too expensive.
Did you say anything positive?
No. Even though I did have a good time. That's the thing. I actually did enjoy being there. Yeah. But the festival itself could have had some
logistic issues.
I would go again. I'm not bashing it. I would go again, but it had a few logistical issues. Yeah. And the number 2 beef is the food was way too expensive.
It was ridiculously expensive.
And that was one of the I love after events like this, I love going on like social media and seeing people's reaction.
That was the comment over and over again.
Guys, you can't charge $17 for a burger or $20 for a grouper sandwich.
That was the thing. It wasn't even. I mean, there were some things that were like $15, but that was like the cheapest thing I saw. Otherwise, like. You know,
I have the prices here.
A sandwich and fries was like, I saw $25 for one little basket of stuff.
I think it was $25 for a basket of scallops.
Yes.
And which you get to luxuriously eat out of a paper basket while standing up. Like, come on.
Right. $25. I mean, for a family of 4 like us, that's $100 that you're dropping on food trucks.
For lunch.
Yeah.
And that's food trucks.
Ridiculous.
I get that they've sort of evolved, and now it's like, I don't know if I want to say gourmet food, but it's good.
It's like
nicer, more creative food.
It's like, street chic. I think
street chic is a really good way of putting it.
Like at least they think they are, but they're not $25 chic. I'll tell you what, man, because I was very disappointed because I was looking forward to going and trying some of the food, and the food looked really good.
Okay, that's the thing.
Spoiler alert, we didn't have any.
We did. Well, we went to a different place. It looked really good. The portions were pretty big from what I'd seen.
Yeah.
The comments, I saw nobody complaining about the food.
They were in a paper, like the paper baskets that you get at like the fair and stuff. They weren't, and they were
Well, that's
full.
what a food truck is going to give you. They're not going to give you fine china.
Well, I understand, but it was like the normal size of those paper like boxes, it wasn't like a large size. So yeah, they were full, but it wasn't a ton of food. It was it was plenty of food if you're paying $10 for it.
Right.
But it was not plenty of food if you're paying $25 for it.
They, on their website or on the Facebook thread, people were complaining about the food, and they were getting in food prices, and they were reacting to it. The food truck, it was called Tampa Bay Food Trucks. They were the group that put it together, and what did they say? They were saying, "Well, guys, you have to understand something. We're paying the bands, we're paying the police, we're paying the organizers of this thing. So yeah, there is a markup, and that's just part of the thing you have to understand. It's free. It's a free event. If you can." Park for free if you don't deal with that, and you're listening to the music for free, and you're seeing all that. So I kind of get that. That's why I said I would go again. And I feel like for us, maybe because we brought kids along, we'd be paying quadruple. We have to buy 4 of everything, and we were like, this is a little too much money.
If I would have spent $20 on a basket of food from a food truck, though.
One of the main reasons we went is I wanted to try the lionfish tacos.
Tacos.
Lionfish tacos. And that was $20 for 2 tacos. I'm like, I really want to try it. I've heard it's good.
$10 for 2 tacos.
But $10 a taco is that's a little
and
extreme.
I'm sure that they were not giant tacos. I'm sure they were just regular sized tacos.
I didn't see anybody eating them. Everybody was like, that's just too expensive.
Yeah.
But lionfish, if anybody knows anything about them, they're like super invasive. They're a cool looking aquarium fish, and someone dropped them in the ocean one day, like on somebody with an aquarium, and now they're like a major invasive problem in the Caribbean and the Gulf. And so now there's this.
And you said, you're like, I really want to get one for a couple of reasons. A, you wanted to try it.
Yeah.
But you also wanted to support the eating of lionfish.
Support the eating because there's lionfish roundups. There's roundups where people go out there with spear guns and shoot as many as they can. And and I'm like, I want to try the lionfish, and I'm like, can't justify $10 a taco. I don't know. At least not when I've got my kids and we're trying to feed them and stuff.
It was a little crazy.
I would go again, but I think it's a better event for maybe single people or just a couple where you're not really having to feed kids a bunch of seafood they may not necessarily like.
Honestly, I would say just find whichever food truck that you are interested in getting their tacos or their seafood dish. And go get them on a normal day when they don't have the incredible markups, because I'm sure that those are not their normal day prices.
I don't think so, because they had the live band, they had the police there, they had the not the police, the band. I'm saying
I know that would be cool though.
Yeah, they had a Tom Petty cover band playing yesterday,
and a Pink Floyd
cover band playing.
Yeah, and they were pretty good. I thought. Yeah.
They added a good ambiance to the scene. I'm not bashing the event. I thought it was a cool event.
No,
I thought the food was too expensive.
The food was way too expensive, and I will say too that a lot of times at events like that, usually they get sponsors, and I saw some sponsor banners and things like that. Usually that kind of stuff helps cover the cost of the bands and stuff like that. So I get that they had to mark it up some, but it seems like they marked it up 2.5 times what it would normally be.
It was I don't know, it was like baseball game or NFL and Major League Baseball game, Disney World prices.
Yeah.
More so even
more so. Yeah. Because you wouldn't pay $25 at Disney for a basket of food.
No. And
you ate over a table or a trash can.
There, it's a food truck should traditionally be good food at a good price. It's, they come around town, they park, and it's become this thing where it's like this, I don't know, aura around them where they have to be expensive. They have to mark everything up, and they have to have a quirky, funsy name, and
it's just too much. It was just way too much. So we didn't end up eating there.
We went to Bubba Gump.
Yeah.
The touristy chain place.
Well, we put our names on the list for Bubba Gump and Hooters, and whichever one called us first, we were going to go.
They were the winner.
So Bubba Gump won, and you got a shrimp po' boy that you said was really good.
My shrimp po' boy was great. I loved it, and the best thing about it, the whole experience, is we sat upstairs on the boardwalk, overlooking the water.
Yeah,
and
it was great.
We had the most beautiful view of dolphins jumping and playing and hanging out in the water. We were watching dolphins for an hour.
Not only were they playing in the water, but they were SeaWorld jumping.
Yeah, we saw SeaWorld leaps out of the water for these dolphins.
It was crazy. None of us had ever seen that before, ever. And one guy came over and he's like, look, there are dolphins out there. And you said to him, yeah, they were just jumping a little while ago, like at SeaWorld or something. And he goes, I live here and I have never seen dolphins.
Right.
Much less seen them jump.
He says he's never even seen them?
That's what he said. He said, I'd never seen dolphins here.
Okay. Because it's not that rare to see dolphins, but I've never really seen them doing what they were doing, jumping out of the water and making those leaps. And
And I got a little footage of that, but it was kind of far. So... I'll throw it in the YouTube there,
video.
But you might have to, squint and look closely to see them jump out of the air. But we did get a little bit of footage of that. But
you usually just see their tail go up, their fin go up, and then they're going, hey, dolphins. But these guys were jumping and spinning.
Really cool.
And it was great. So I'm glad that the food trucks at the Seafood Festival were expensive, because we would not have seen that otherwise.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a very positive way of looking at it.
That's right.
I'm so proud of you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Right. So do you want to talk about, before we get into Scream-a-geddon, I want to talk about one little piece of news that kind of popped up this week. And that is, you remember the Terminator, it had a weird name, Terminator 2 3D
Yes, I do remember that.
Stunt show 3D Spectacular at Universal Studios.
I don't think Spectacular was in the name, but yes.
It wasn't, but I'm adding that. It closed a couple years ago, and there had been some speculation of what they're going to be putting in there.
Yep.
And the heavy rumor was that they're going to put a stunt show in there based on the Bourne franchise, the Jason Bourne franchise. Everyone's been talking about that.
Yep.
Totally confirmed. That is what's going to be opening up in there in spring of 2020.
Nice.
The Bourne Stuntacular.
Is it Matt Damon?
Yeah, they hired Matt Damon for a 10-year contract. He's going to do 10 shows a day.
Awesome.
They're just going to put him in a cryogenic
it's like
chamber.
Celine Dion.
Yeah, Celine Dion in Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
They're just going to keep Matt Damon in a cryo tube, and they're going to wheel him out there. And no, come on now. It's not going to be Matt Damon. It's going to be his buddy. What's the other?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Thank you.
No, what I mean though is like, you know how like they have the sometimes they have stars record.
Oh, you mean for the video
the
part?
video, yeah.
They probably will. I mean, they might do that. Or the 3D, the Terminator 2 3D thing had like actors that looked like the kid.
Yeah.
And then they had a guy who looked like Arnold.
Right.
In like live actors in the thing. So they might have someone who looks like that.
Yeah.
So I guess the Terminator was like, they had to license that. They had to actually pay for that. And Universal's trying to get away from licensing stuff. They're trying to
use their own stuff,
create attractions based on their own stuff. And the Bourne
sense.
Identity was something that they owned. It's funny. I remember liking the Bourne Identity movies. I've seen them. But
I've never seen him with Matt Damon though. I saw, who was the first Bourne guy?
It was Matt Damon from the beginning. Are you sure? Are you thinking of Bond?
I don't think so. I thought there was another Bourne Identity with not Matt Damon.
Was there was the last one with Matt Damon? I don't think I saw the last one.
No, I don't think we've seen any of them except the first one.
I've seen the first two or three. How many did they make?
I don't know.
I see. That's the thing. Like
we're sorely undereducated on our Bourne Identity.
I remember seeing it. I remember liking it, and then promptly forgetting about it.
So yeah. I remember there was a car chase scene with a girl.
There
That's
was.
All I remember.
There was a car chase in
but
the
I'm
first
almost
one.
positive it was not Matt Damon.
I think it was a Mini Cooper. Was it a Mini Cooper?
It was. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm almost positive it wasn't Matt Damon though.
I think it was. It had to have been. Matt Damon's been there from the beginning. If you know, let us know or whatever. But it's kind of weird they chose Bourne Identity because it's one of those. It's not like, I don't think it's one of those like super iconic movie franchises to base a whole attraction around.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I thought the same thing about Avatar too.
Right. But here's the thing. Like Universal in Hollywood has been doing a stunt show based on Waterworld for 20 years now.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
And that was kind of historically considered one of the world's biggest flops. But that's actually a really good show. I saw that a while back when I was out there.
Is it?
And it's a great show. It's very good. There's a lot of great pyrotechnics. There's an airplane that flies in and like a seaplane that crashes into the...
I actually remember liking that movie.
The Bourne movie? Oh,
no,
the
Waterworld.
What's a good movie? It gets a bad rap.
It was just very expensive to make.
That's the thing. It was very expensive and it didn't make its money back. And so people thought, oh, it's a huge flop. I mean,
but
I guess
it was actually a pretty good movie.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's like Mad Max on water.
Right, pretty much.
So that's going to be coming in 2020. It's going to be a stunt show mixed with
nice.
Immersive multimedia and all that stuff. So can't wait to see that. That'll be interesting.
Did you hear about the guy that's suing Universal?
I read the headline that some guy was suing because of he got mad about the unlimited soft drink policy.
That is correct.
Something.
Yep.
Okay, what happened there? Did you read the story?
I did. I read the whole article.
I didn't read the whole article, but I saw
it was a real page turner.
It was a real page turner.
Yeah. So basically, he bought the unlimited drink deal at Universal.
Okay.
And then it works like, I guess, with like a microchip. So like it knows like what day you're there and all that
microchip
stuff.
In the glass,
in the cup. Yeah. And it has to be reactivated. And it has like, I think the next day you have to pay again for that day too. So I think I can't remember exactly the first price, but the second price for the second day, the reactivation was $8.99. I remember that. So he paid for the first day, which was like $17 or something, and then the second day, which was $8.99. But then as he found out that doesn't mean unlimited refills.
The second day is not the
neither
reactivation.
Neither meant unlimited refills because he was at I guess Typhoon Lagoon, and he went back to refill within a 10-minute time frame, and it refused to let him refill within 10 minutes. So you have to wait 10 minutes before you can refill again, basically.
Okay.
Which I assume is their
so
way
you're not
of keeping
giving it to a bunch of friends.
Yeah, keeping you from pouring it in someone else's glass and then so on and so forth.
Sure.
So that was his beef. So he's suing them, and I'm like, why don't you?
The unlimited didn't really mean unlimited.
Why don't you just ask him for a refund? I mean, that's got to be cheaper than suing him, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's gonna win.
I don't know. It seemed a little overkill. But
gets me really upset to
he must have
sue
been
over
or maybe he's a lawyer.
Unlimited Coke.
Maybe he's a lawyer, so he can, cover the costs. I don't know. But your cousin posted it on Facebook actually, and he said the comment that he wrote made me laugh, which was, "Oh, what a time we live in!
what a time to be alive!"
Yeah, what a time to be alive. That's right. It was funny. So, anywho,
it does seem sort of dystopian. I'm suing because of the unlimited microchip in my Coke didn't allow me to have. I don't know. There's something about the RFID chip or whatever it is. It seems a little dystopian future, even though I don't know why.
So let me tell you about Scream-a-geddon.
Scream-a-geddon. So you went to Scream-a-geddon. This is the big Halloween haunted house thing in Dade City.
I went with some friends. You stayed home with the kids, which I thank you for very much.
I wasn't able to make it. I was on dad duty.
You were a good little soldier.
I couldn't leave them at home by themselves till 11 o'clock at night on a Wednesday.
Well,
we'd come home and the house would be on fire. And
I will say that's one thing to note is it took a lot longer than I thought it was. Like, I didn't think we'd be gone that long. I thought we'd maybe be gone like a couple hours.
It's 6 haunted houses, right?
It's 5 haunted houses and 1 paintball experience.
That's right. You get to shoot zombies.
Yes. But the paintball experience is not included. That's extra. I think it's like $10 extra.
Okay.
And this is, let me just get the only like negative out of the way for this whole thing, which was the price. So I feel like it's a little expensive.
That's a recurring theme on this episode.
and here's the thing. It's not just that it's a little expensive. So we paid $30 for us to go to this thing.
Per person?
$30 per person.
Maybe we're just forgetting how much stuff costs.
Maybe. Yeah. But, you're getting access to 5 different haunted houses with that.
$6 a haunted house. And see, if you paid $6 to go into one haunted house, I feel like I'm banging the table again. I feel like that's reasonable, right? That seems like about what I would pay to go into a haunted house. Maybe $5 or $6.
Yeah, when you break it down like that. But I will say what really annoyed me the most was that the prices change every single day.
Oh, it's got that flex pricing depending on the crowd.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, one day for the day that we went, one day it was like $21.95. And then, so we were like, oh, let's go on that day because it's a little cheaper. And that's why we went like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Right. Nobody wanted to go on a weeknight.
But we didn't buy the tickets right away. Rookie mistake, by the way. So we waited and the price started going up. And by the time we bought the tickets, it was like $25. And so we're like, okay, let's go ahead and buy these tickets because the price keeps going up. We go to buy them, and there's a $5 processing fee
for buying it online.
I
think they're Ticketmaster or something.
But if you don't buy it online, it's $5 extra at the door. So I don't know if it's $5 extra.
Why don't they just say it's $5 more than the price?
Hence my annoyance.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's like Ticketmaster nonsense.
Yeah, so it was $5. I don't know if it's $5 more at the door on top of the processing fee or if it's the same price.
Okay.
Okay. But so that
was there a printed home fee? Ticketmaster likes to do that. You want to use your own printer to print it? It's $10. You could put it on your phone. Yeah. Okay, that's only $3.
Right. Anyway, so that's my only gripe. Now I'll get to the good stuff.
Okay, so pricing was a little weird. All right.
It was a little weird. It was a little fluctuating.
Now all I know so far is that you loved it. You thought it was an awesome time.
Loved it.
But you haven't told me anything yet. You said
I told you a little bit, but not much. And
I'm going to tell you about this thing. You know what? Nope.
I'm going to save it for the podcast.
I'm going to save it for the podcast because I want to hear this for the first time.
The other thing that's kind of a bummer is that I took a lot of footage, but you're not allowed to film inside the haunted houses.
That makes sense. They don't want you giving any spoilers out.
So I totally understand that, obviously. So I did shoot footage of the like they have like a congregating area, which you'll see, you know, in this video footage that we're including
and
here.
I did ask, here's the thing. I did ask Scream-a-geddon. I sent them an email saying, hey guys, we have this podcast and we have a YouTube channel now. And can we use some of your commercial footage?
And they didn't respond.
And they never responded. So I would love to show you their videos, but I couldn't.
If we hear from them before the video, we'll put it in.
If you happen to see Scream-a-geddon video here, then they got back and said, hey, go ahead.
Right. So,
I'll try one more time.
So, okay. So when you first walk in, like, I'll start from the very beginning. We get up there. We're showing our tickets on our phone because we didn't do the print at home fee. No, there isn't really a print at home fee. So we're showing the tickets on our phones and about to go in. And before we've even like gotten in there, some scary clown comes up behind our friend and does this, like right next to her ear.
Oh God, like a creepy purr.
Yes. And it was creepy. So
did she immediately want to get up and leave?
No. She was a good sport about it.
Okay. Well, I mean, you got to be a good sport about that. You don't show up at these things.
You don't go to these things to not get scared.
To not be messed with. People, right. You are signing away your right to not be messed with. Yep.
Yeah. So we get in there. There's people walking around in costume just in the congregating area. And the congregating area has these like kind of pulled apart like shipping containers that you can sit in, and there's like picnic benches in there.
Oh, that's cool. I think I saw a picture that looked like a shipping container.
Yeah. So there's that. There's, you know, a lot of people able to sit, and there's lots of, you know, places where you can buy food and buy beer, and they had like pizza and regular drinks like soda and stuff like that too. Yeah. The bathroom situation is a porta potty situation, just fair warning. I went before I came, but then I had to go again and dealt with that.
It's a haunted house.
They weren't bad. They were pretty clean, actually. Okay.
So it wasn't in theme?
No. You
didn't look down there and see a severed head floating in the bottom of the bowl?
There is a haunted outhouse later in my story.
There's a haunted outhouse?
But the actual porta potties that you used were very nice.
Okay.
You know, well, I wouldn't say very nice. They were clean.
As far as porta potties go.
Yes, exactly. So we get in there, you know, first thing, we got a couple of drinks, and then we get in line for the first haunted house, which was a prison-themed haunted house.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Scream-a-geddon, and I want to like kind of go in order because I don't want to forget anything. Okay. But so Scream-a-geddon has this thing where if you put a glow necklace on around your throat, it means that they can touch you. And
I've heard
appropriately.
Someone else said it was opting in. That's what they said. Do you want to opt in or not?
So basically what happens if you wear this glow necklace is that they will grab you. They don't hurt you, but they grab you and they pull you and separate you from your party.
You're giving them permission to touch you. And
yes. Yep. And you're giving them permission to separate you from your party, basically.
That's the thing.
That was the big like deal breaker for me, because like after I saw the first time, like the first haunted houses, all the guys did it in the first haunted house.
One guy did it. The other two got peer pressured.
They were like, okay,
it.
I guess I have to do it.
I have to do it now.
So the three guys that we were with all wore the necklace, and me and the other girl that we were with did not wear the necklace. So, and we would see the guys here and there, but they really were completely separated.
They pull you away.
Yeah, they were. I mean, every once in a while they'd come back to us, and then we'd walk with them a little bit more, and then they'd be gone again. You know, they pull you into separate rooms. At one point they said, and this is just all, you know, what they told me afterward. They said that at one point they pulled them into this little room that was like piping in fog and locked them in there, and they couldn't get out. Yeah, they couldn't get out of the room, and they were like, okay, we're ready to get out now. You know.
Like they actually were locked in.
They were actually locked in.
There wasn't like an escape room situation where you had to figure your way out.
No. They locked them in and left them in there. They said probably for 30 seconds, and then they let them out.
Okay.
So that's like one example.
Sure.
There were so many different, really great scares throughout, all of them, and I'm probably going to get them mixed up, so I apologize in advance. Because
don't give away too many spoilers.
I won't,
because I mean, people might want to go check this out.
But like one thing that they did, which was kind of a reoccurring theme throughout a lot of the haunted houses, was they had like these kind of windows in the walls that didn't look like they they were almost like trap doors in the walls. And they, like, you didn't really realize that it was a trap door until they opened it and someone like jumped out of that trap door and scared you. And it was just kind of their face that, you know.
Okay.
And when they opened it, it made this loud, like slam of wood against wood.
Okay.
So that scared you. And then
there's a guy there who you didn't expect.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that was creepy. There was rooms like, there was one room that had, it was filled with mannequins, and like you couldn't, like, it was like tons and tons of mannequins.
And then of course, but they're not all, I'm sure they weren't all mannequins.
Weren't all mannequins.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then they had like a strobe light in there as well. So you couldn't like, it was like, and it was pitch black, completely pitch black. So all you could only see the mannequins when the strobe light flickered. And
now that would be the worst thing about getting separated from people, is trying to figure your way back when it's super dark.
I will say this though, the scarers and the different haunted houses were really great about like helping you with that. Like they like, because there were certain points where like the road would fork, because like they have areas where they want to pull people who are wearing the necklaces, right?
Okay.
So like if you're wearing a necklace, they'll pull you off to the side into a room that they don't want normal people to go into.
It's set up, designed specifically for people wearing the thing.
Right. So like you'll get to a fork in the road and you'll be like, well, which way do I go? And then all of a sudden you'll hear like a guy down the way go that way, you know, or something like that. So
thank you. You're a very helpful goblin.
Yeah, exactly.
Help me through the haunted horror maze.
Right. So yeah, it was super fun. Like they had a lot of different, you know, people jumping out at you. Obviously,
sure,
everyone was
yep.
all in costume and scary, and sheets, you know, hanging, and you know, all kinds of different things that were very scary. So the first one was, I mean, other than I think the mannequins, I think that was that one. Maybe it was a different one. I can't, like, they're all kind of blending together.
Was the mannequin one the one where you were wearing the glasses? You said you had to wear glasses for something that kind of created like a trippy effect.
You know what? I think you're right. I think the mannequin was in that one.
Okay.
So the second one we went into was this trippy one, and it had like all these like neon paints everywhere and black lights. So everything was really glowing. And we talked about this, I think, once before, that there was a Busch Gardens
at Hallow Scream. They used to have one like this that was not dark. It was very.
And you had to wear these glasses,
right?
And I remembered them being 3D glasses, but I don't think they were. I think they were glasses like what I was
wearing
the other night.
They had like a prism effect.
Yes.
So everything just looks sort of off. And
if you've ever been to Legoland, and seen the fireworks show at Legoland, they give you these glasses to watch the fireworks show. And it ends up making the fireworks look like Legos, because
it's kind of neat.
It refracts.
The
fireworks.
The fireworks explode, and the little sparks are little Legos flying.
Yeah, and they look exactly like Legos. Yeah. It's really cool.
It's actually a really neat effect. Yeah.
The
first time I did that, I thought, I don't really want to watch the fireworks through these. This is cheesy. Then I'm like, I've never seen a fireworks show with Legos. I might as well keep them on.
Yeah. It's neat. So they were kind of reminded me of those kind of glasses, because they had like prisms and refracting light and stuff like that, and it definitely messed with your mind a little bit, you know, and it also messed with your sight, obviously.
Yep.
So you couldn't really see, and a lot of times people would be kind of blending in with walls that were bright, you know, that you should be able to see them, but they were like wearing similar colors as the wall.
And the glasses sort of probably
the glasses mess with you.
Create like an effect where you can't really know what's going on.
Exactly. So that was really cool. And that haunted house wasn't all bright though. It like went from like bright to like really black, dark, and then bright again to, you know, sometimes like there would just be like a really black, like hallway with splatter paint here and there of different colors. And the splatter paint, the way that, I don't know how it worked exactly, but the way that they had it on the walls, it almost looked like it was 3D with those glasses on. So like one color looked like it was 2 inches behind another color.
I can kind of picture that.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that was really cool. And obviously it must have been the glasses that made it that way. But so they had, you know, different areas like that. And then this one was really cool. So you know when you go into like a fun house and you are walking on a little plank with the spinny room all around you?
Yep, the spinning thing.
Yeah.
Like the state fair.
Yes, so they had that in this haunted house.
Oh, so you had to walk through a physically spinning
room, and it was blacklit, obviously, too. So the spinning part was all like purpley blacklit, but everything else was black. So you were kind of like, it really disoriented you a lot, you know? So that was really fun. And then you're right. This one was the mannequin one. I was thinking it was the prison one, but I think the prison one was just a bunch of different cells.
Wasn't this one like a circus theme? Like a funhouse circus themed one, right?
Yes, exactly. So,
I was on their website. I was looking at the ones they had the prison theme. I saw a circus themed one,
and I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like 3D Rage or something like that. Was the name, and every house had its own name. And I did some footage also of like they have this big map there when you first walk in, of like the layout. Basically, you are here, and then it shows you like where the different haunted houses are and everything.
Do you have to do them in any specific order, or
no,
is it just?
But one of our friends that we were with,
Rage 3D.
Thank you.
Demon's Revenge.
Yeah, it's creepy. So one of our friends was like, we have to do the woods one last. Deep Woods, I think it was called, or Dark Woods or something like that. You'll tell me in a second.
I see the Bonzo's Beer Garden. That's funny. All this stuff is called like Blackpool Prison, Dead Woods, and then Bonzo's Beer Garden.
So he said we needed to save that one for last.
Who said this?
Brendan, our friend Brendan.
He's been there before. Yeah,
he actually goes every year.
He was the one who told us to wear the. I didn't go, but he was the one who told me about
to wear the necklace. Yeah, the
Optin
glow necklace. Yeah. So anyway, super fun. I think the Rage 3D was actually my favorite haunted house. I don't know. Actually, there's a church one that was really good too. They were all so good.
Was that one Demon's Revenge?
Yes. So let me just tell you about my favorite part of Demon's Revenge. So we're going through a church basically, and you
sent me a picture from there that looked awesome. Like the production values looked really cool. It was,
and we'll put that in here too because like they had like fog out in the like open area, not just inside the haunted houses, but fog just outside too. And you're in the woods, like you're out in the woods up in like Dade City or Brooksville or somewhere.
Didn't you say it was like super humid and sticky out?
It was super, because it had rained earlier that day. Yeah, so it was. But so they had fog everywhere and like really great lighting. And this church had like this like reddish burgundy lighting on it.
Looked awesome.
With fog lit behind it too. So the effects were really great.
Were the production values in the haunted houses really good?
Really good. I felt like they were. I felt like they were really good. So my favorite part of this particular haunted house, the church one, was at one point you're going through this church, everyone's like screaming about how, save me,
oh God,
all this stuff.
Right.
And then you get through the church out to the back and there's school buses, like full-sized school buses out there that have I think the first one that you see is like an intact school bus. And you can kind of see like what looks like maybe dead people in the school bus.
That's a little
creepy.
Yeah, a little off-putting.
And then
disconcerting.
You come around the corner and there's a school bus that is cut in half. It's like completely cut in half. So the back of the school bus is in one area, the front is on the other area.
That's production value.
And you walk through the school bus, like so that like the front's on one side of you and the back's on the other side of you, and there's like dead bodies hanging out of it.
Oh,
and
man.
There's one.
And it's a school bus.
I mean, it's not real. It's all like
it's fake, but
it's like
a school bus is probably the worst thing you can imagine to have.
It was really creepy. And there's one girl sitting right at the school bus, and she's going, "The wheels on the bus go round and round." It was super creepy. And we're all going through there. And it was like, as we're going through, we're all going, this is so scary. Like it was so scary.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was so scary. So that was my favorite effect that they had there though. Those school buses, I mean, they were full-size school buses that they had destroyed.
Right.
You know?
This. Yeah.
Yeah. So our friend that has gone many, many years said that they have that one every year. I guess.
So they bought the school buses cheap
so obviously
and then left
that
them
must
back
have
there.
been, an investment
Something
for them.
they bring up every year. Yeah.
So
well, I know it's a super popular attraction, and you can't drive 40 feet around here without seeing a billboard for it. I mean, it's seriously advertised, and I know they get a big crowd.
It's really
out there.
well done. It's really well done.
$30 doesn't sound bad for something like this per person.
It isn't. Honestly, I think that after going, it was worth it. Like I was like $30, man, that's really expensive. But then, just for a few hours,
it adds up when you're adding a bunch more people.
Yeah, if we took the whole family, that's that's $120.
That's when we complain about price when we gotta pay for the kids.
But I think the kids would actually really like it. I mean, they'd be scared out of their mind.
There's this haunted house,
but there was nothing in it that was like damaging, to
would,
your psyche.
Nothing that would keep them up at night.
Right.
That they'd be thinking about for years.
Maybe it would.
There was a haunted house just up the street from here, just some small local like park district city haunted house that we took them through, and they still talk about how terrifying it was. And I'm like, it was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun, but it was.
They had there was a guy that like chased them with a chainsaw as they were leaving.
And that's the part that scarred them.
That part scarred them. There were lots of chainsaws at these haunted houses too.
You gotta have a chainsaw. That's a classic. I mean, it's.
And obviously,
it's cliche, but it's a classic.
I'm kind of hitting the highlights here, but there was obviously tons and tons of scares that I can't even like remember, because there was just so many. It was every corner.
6 haunted houses?
5.
6 in one, if you don't count the paintball.
Zombie paintball.
How'd the paintball thing work? Did you see how?
I didn't see it. So it was like in a separate like area that you had to enter through. So we didn't do that. But before we stop talking about this though, I want to tell you about Deadwoods, because that was the one that we saved for last.
That was the last one. The save best for last.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that this was the best.
I'm following along on their website here as you talk.
I wouldn't say that this was the best haunted house that night, but I think maybe they were understaffed or something on that haunted house, because it seemed like they had a couple of really great scares in that haunted house, but it was a haunted house actually. It was the woods.
This was outdoors.
You were completely in the woods. Like they had like a path, cleared for everyone that was lit by what are those jars called? The mason jars.
Okay.
So they had like little lights and mason jars that lit the path, so you could kind of know where to go, obviously, so you didn't wander off
into the real woods.
Right. So
somebody's still out there.
Right. So they had that path kind of marked. So you go through and you go in. The first thing you do is go through this like disgusting haunted outhouse.
Oh man.
That is very well themed.
Great.
Yeah. So
is it well smell? Does the theme carry off to the smell?
It didn't smell at all.
Okay.
But like
that's good.
There are toilets off to the side, and they looked like they'd seen some hauntedness, man.
It looked like they've seen some action.
Yeah. It looked like the green ghost from Ghostbusters had come out of it several times.
All
right. So you go through there. There's people in there like crying and screaming. And
in the outhouse?
In the outhouse. Yeah, absolutely. So then you keep going. So you go through the outhouse. You go on for wandering further back into the woods. There's a couple of different like cabins that you go through with people like screaming and crying and scaring you.
Now I'm expecting there to be like psycho hillbillies in this one, in the outdoor one, and Psycho hillbillies are the scariest kind of haunted house resident. Really? I think so.
Well, it seemed like there was a lot of like victims, in this one. Like, please help me, get me out of here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I was surprised that there wasn't more jumping out of the woods and scaring you on
maybe
that.
Were you expecting it, and that's sort of scary enough because you're
maybe
anticipating it?
Maybe, but like all of the scaring was in those haunted areas, like when you went through the like haunted cabin or the outhouse or whatever. So I think there was 3 of those areas. And then like we're on our way back out of the woods, and it was so cool because I think it was a full moon that night. If it wasn't full moon, it was close. And the moon was really low in the sky, and when it's really low, it looks really big. So it was kind of creepy that the moon was like so bright and big. And one of the guys that we were with said, "Guys, look at the moon right now. It's so creepy. It's like the creepiest thing out here." And everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it's really creepy." And then all of a sudden a chainsaw starts like right next to us. And
he was just waiting for you.
A guy jumps out of the woods and like, runs at us. And he's like, "Do you still think the moon's the scariest thing out here?" Or something like that.
Did the chainsaw have that chainsaw smell?
Absolutely.
Because that's the best. I love that.
Yeah.
At a haunted house.
The, like gas.
Yeah, when someone's chasing you with a chainsaw in a haunted house.
Yeah.
The smell is the thing that sticks with you.
Yeah, because it smells like a chainsaw.
Right, and it really adds to the effect.
The fear.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
There's no chain on it, and it's just making noise.
Right.
But
yeah, it was like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, the smell is that
freaked us
gets
out.
To you.
We ran out of the woods basically. So I wish that there was more of that in the different woodsy areas, but maybe they were saving it for the end, or maybe they just didn't have enough people to staff it as well as normal. I don't know.
It was a Wednesday night or something.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple people could make it.
But it was so good. I can't even tell you how good all of them were.
So you'll go back. So you won't.
I would absolutely
go back
again.
next year.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Next year we'll have to go. I'll have to go. I wanted to do it this year, but just the cards didn't align for me. I had to do.
So you took one for the team.
I took one for the team,
and it was appreciated.
But you got to do it. I'm glad you got to do it, so you could talk about it.
It was super cool.
Yeah, I this year, like I said, half the billboards in Florida right now are advertising Scream-a-geddon.
Yeah, and I highly recommend it.
And I've read USA Today did an article. They listed this as one of the top 10 in the country.
That's cool.
#1 in Florida. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm glad you got to do it, and it's still going for a couple more weeks. So
yeah, get out there
right
for
up through Halloween. All right,
don't miss it. Seriously.
That was fun. I'm glad you got to do that.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you like this podcast, please support us by giving us a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing us with your friends and family. You can find us on Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, or pretty much anywhere you download a podcast. Another more direct way you can support the show is by visiting our website, sunshinestatepodcast.com, and clicking through on the button that says Become a Patron. It's a safe and secure way you can support the show, and there are different levels, some of which will give you bonus content and even qualify you as an advertiser on the show. There's also an Amazon link on our webpage. If you click through on that link and just make your normal purchases, Amazon gives a commission to the show at no cost to you. You can also follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Our handle is @FloridaPodcast, or search Sunshine State of Mind on YouTube. And be sure to check out our website at sunshinestatepodcast.com. We'll see you next time.